This is the Monster transmission that I received from Monster. It came in a nice palleted crate and fully covered. It had a small platform right here that had the case of the synthetic ATF that they recommended for this transmission. And it also comes with a converter inside. This converter is about 300 to 500 RPMs over stock. And the reason why I went with that is my off-road vehicle runs 48 gears and tends to reach a higher RPM range much faster than stock. This is my 4x4 of choice. It's a 1988 GMC Jimmy. It served me very, very well. I know for a fact the person I purchased this truck from, the transmission had been gone through twice. One from a small transmission shop local to his hometown, and the other was actually a GMAC remanufactured transmission. The transmission held up in my truck very well for a long time. I've actually had this thing for 3 years now, and one of the things I installed to help it last, of course, was a transmission cooler with an electric fan and thermostat. I run stainless steel lines with AN fittings, and constantly service the transmission on a regular basis, and that helps to maintain the transmission life. Transmissions don't like old burnt fluid. With this transmission, it'll all be the same, regular service intervals, and the recommended fluid that they preferred to keep it lasting as long as possible. What really ended this transmission wasn't the transmission itself, it was the fact that they used a remanufactured converter. GM uses, and most, in fact, I don't think any other manufacturer of torque converters than a stock application use anything other than a paper fiber material on the clutch brake for a clutch lockup. And when that goes, it will send fine particles of material through the trans, and that's it, you're done. At that point, you shut her down and replace the transmission. So whatever you do when you replace your transmission, do not scrimp on the heart of your transmission, which is a converter. Spend the money like I did. Buy the converter that's recommended by the company that you're buying the transmission from, because they've tested it and they know it's going to work well with their transmission. So now we'll get to putting this in, and then we'll get back to where we're at after the install. If you see the hose I installed here, it's something I do to all of my transmissions. I run an extension on the vent tube, and I run it up really high and up inside the cab, and I put a filter, a small fuel filter on the other end of it, and this is going to tie into the transfer case vent as well. And the reason why I do that is we run such high angles, we have a tendency to spit ATF out of there, which I don't want to contaminate the trail. But most importantly, this is where your transmission breathes. So if you're sucking contaminants inside your transmission, well, you can only imagine what you're doing to your transmission. So just a little added safety feature, something you might be interested in. So far, I'm really impressed with the way the transmission looks. It's got a nice powder coat paint to it. They've ground and cleaned up all the flanges, which I don't know anybody that does that unless you're buying a really expensive transmission from a company that you're having custom built for you. So so far I'm very impressed with what I see. So we'll get it in there and then we'll go from there. All right, one last quick shot with the video camera. Got her mounted on the trans jack, and we're gonna go ahead and install her now. So the last time you get to see a shot of her like that. So. Okay, so just in conclusion to the video, I've now had the transmission in my Blazer for almost 4 weeks now, and I've towed my trailer with it, and I've took it off-roading, which you'll have seen some of the video of that. And in the short amount of time that I've had it in the truck, I've been very, very happy with the transmission. You know, a lot of times when you buy stuff through mail order, or you know, especially something that's from states away, it's difficult to make that purchase. And for me, it was difficult as well. But I'm very satisfied with my purchase, and I think that if anybody were to purchase this transmission from Monster Transmission, they would be just as satisfied as I am, and happy to get the discount as well. So. Good luck to all of you in your endeavors, and keep motorsports going strong. And like I said, I'm a believer in Monster Transmissions.